Welcome, basketball fans, to a very special Veterans Day edition of the NBA on 2K Sports. I'm Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. The fans here in Detroit ready to cheer on their Pistons in this interconference matchup. And this is the first season matchup for them against this Rockets team. Home court advantage played a part in last year's season series. Each team took their home game in a 1-1 split. Shooting two. And the Houston Rockets starting five. Lawson out there with Thornton. Then it's Harden. Then it's Trevor Ariza. And it's Howard in at center. The Pistons shooting their first free throws of the game.
Well, you know, Hall of Famer and three-time champion Kevin McHale, the Rockets coach, did nothing but find success and win as a player. And, you know, that's been the same song for him as a coach.
It's Harden with the drive. Outside for Lawson. Here's Thornton. That is in there. Lawson with the assist. And here are the Pistons now. And for Coach Kevin McHale, last year was his best. A lot of people thought he could have been easily the coach of the year, leading the Rockets to their third best regular season in franchise history.
And Kevin, with McHale, he's got this team improving every year. His team's win totals have risen as well statistically as I think becoming a better team. Wins aren't always necessarily what determines how good you are.
Now here's Jackson. Howard with the steal. Watson the pass to Ariza. Harden dishes to Thornton. Here's the three. Ariza no look. On defense, Houston. They come into this having outplayed the Clippers last game.
And the way they attacked the basket in that game was unreal. I mean, after a while, the defenders seemed to just wave the white flag.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, that's what will happen when the team continues to attack the basket and come away with layups. The defense tends to get demoralized and deflated.
That's good. Harden's got his first 2 points.
You know, his ability is matched only by his energy, guys. I mean, he's usually in the middle of everything for his team.
Rockets have gone 2 for 4 from the field so far today. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there. Andre Drummond picks one up. Well, last season the Pistons didn't reach the playoffs for the 6th consecutive season. They're making progress, but as we can all see, still have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, you know, they were spoiled for a while there. How about going to the playoffs for 1996 to 2009? So it's been a rough stretch here of late, but you get the feeling that the building blocks are in place for another push.
Ariza with it. Guarded now by Morris. Kicks it out to Ariza. 6 on the shot clock. And here's Harden
man, why
for
would
3.
you do that?
And he gets it to go. Harden's got 6.
Good open look, and he splashes home the 3.
You know, you're going to have success when you can start out shooting 80% from the game. So early offensively, they've been great. That's the way you like to start.
Lawson kicks to Thornton. Here's the 3. And another 3 for Houston.
Boy, I tell you what, he loves getting looks like that from the three-point line. No one near him. That's a warm-up jumper for him.
Caldwell Pope tried to answer back, but that 3 is off the mark. Here's Thornton. Kicks it out to Harden. And Jackson with the block. It's going to be out of bounds. The Rockets will retain possession. Houston making some changes. Capella's checked in, and it's Brewer in for Marcus Thornton. There's 1:54 left in the first quarter of the game. Shot clock at 6. Harden dishes to Ariza. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
And the Rockets were a tough team last year, but at times it really felt like a one-man show. Harden carried them so much for so long. You just have to wonder if it wore him out.
And the Pistons making a change here. Johnson's checked in. Houston also making some changes. Harrell, he's checked in for Harden. And it's Patrick Beverley in for Ty Lawson. Now here's Drummond. Rebound by Harrell. And if carrying the team during the regular season or Harden down, Greg, you're talking about, it didn't show that much in the playoffs. Harden was phenomenal most, if not part, all of the postseason.
I would agree with you, but there also were some other guys for Houston that did step up in the postseason. Howard looked as good as he did before all of his injuries, as a case in point.
Easy to see who's going to win that race.
Yeah, early offense is often easy offense. Excellent work that time.
The offensive rebound. And Drummond throws it down.
And, guys, isn't it great to see a player who works that hard on the glass at both ends?
Well said, G. That's the way he has built, you know, his reputation. Clark grinding away, 100% effort all the time.
And, you know, Kevin, all that effort pays off. How many of those spectacular putback jams do we see from this guy? A bunch.
Blake kicks to Bain. Howard down after the assist, let him into the lane.
Flying high and throwing down the hard one-hander.
One of his favorite moves right there, guys.
And really, he does that one as well as anyone. Kev, you're right. That's like his signature move once he goes airborne.
Here's a reason. After the basket by Detroit. And the shot clock expires. 24-second violation. Seven seconds left here in the first quarter. Here's Drummond. And he slams it one-handed.
Boy, this game is off to a flying start.
Yeah, we're seeing some high-octane offense from both sides in this one.
How about the inbound pass there? Easy bucket.
And a high-scoring first quarter. Both teams really filling it up. Rockets ahead. Neither team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. And looking at what we've seen from Houston, what do you guys think?
Really, it's always a positive when you can get some impact off your bench.
Always nice to have firepower coming from the reserves, and they've had firepower and then some so far.
Jackson and Caldwell Pope, the guards. Aaron Baines out there with Ilyasova. And it's Johnson in the small forward position. That's the group for Detroit right now.
That's the third bucket in a row from the paint. This defense needs to clog those lanes in the middle much more effectively.
You just cannot allow the offense to have that quality of a look each and every possession.
Howard's shot is good.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
Time-dropping delights is what I call it.
Yeah, it's a nice pass. I will give you that one.
Yeah, he was on the money, that's no doubt. Harden, no good.
And you can see the defenders afraid to kind of get in his way a lot of times when he's on his way to the basket. But on that one, they were there.
You know, for the past few seasons, guys, Detroit had been a team that struggled to punish teams from the perimeter. Last year, that was not the case. They showed dramatic improvement in being a threat from behind the arc.
The drive by Jackson. That drops.
What a play there. The hoop plus the harm.
Yeah, great concentration there, Gerald. Hung in there. He didn't let that contact throw him off at all. Stayed focused on the rim, knew he was going to get hit, and still was able to finish.
Morris is checked in for Detroit. And the Rockets making a change here as well. Thornton's checked in. Jackson against Lawson. Stolen by Jackson. Goes up on the high post. That shot by Caldwell Pope, no good.
And listen, sometimes even the best of us are going to miss the easiest of opportunities.
Boy, I tell you what, guys, he's an extremely strong finisher. I'm surprised he wasn't able to power that through the defense.
Nice work on the inside. Hard to get that one up and over the big fella.
Well, it's not supposed to be easy down there, and a little artistry on the inside helped him make it happen.
And that's a foul. It's called on Reggie Jackson. That's his first foul. And here in the second, 2 minutes gone by. Here's Harden. That one a tad offline to the right, but drops in for him. Harden's got 10. Jackson up top. He's got 10.
Well, he's an undersized center, but he more than makes up for it with some serious leaping ability.
Rockets trailed by 4. And Lawson with the drive. Can't get it to go. Good work defensively by Morris.
Well, we know prior to last season, the Pistons handed the car keys over to Stan Van Gundy. He had some early hiccups, but overall, I think they're headed in the right direction. He's a proven winning coach in the NBA.
Howard kicks to Lawson. Harden against Morris. 5 on the clock. The feed to Capella. Thornton for 3. And another 3 for Houston. Well, with Coach Stan Van Gundy, it was a very successful first year in Detroit. He's a guy who's going to build around defense. That's been his MO.
And Van Gundy has always been a defensive first type guy, Kevin. I mean, the last 30 years, he has probably the best defensive efficiency for a career as a coach. And his teams always play with great emphasis on that side of the ball.
Passes it to Morris. He kicks it to Drummond. And out of bounds as the Rockets gain possession.
Oh, wow.
A chance here to check out how the Rockets ranked in the NBA last season. Second in fast break points. Third in steals. And they also ranked among the top 5 in points off turnovers. So did a nice job of turning people over and then turning those turnovers into points.
And as you pointed out, when it came to running the break, I mean, they were terrific. They left teams really just grasping for breath and unable to match that breakneck pace.
And stolen by Harrell. And it's sent back by Drummond. Morris outside. And Drummond throws it down.
How about that now? What a sensational finish.
Oh, got to be able to get some hang time to do that.
Yeah, you got to rise and levitate.
Suspend yourself.
Yeah, levitate.
How about the glide in and then also to reverse it?
Johnson, he's checked in for Caldwell Pope. KJ McDaniels, he's checked in for Houston. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. The Rockets shooting their 5th and 6th free throws of the game.
And the Rockets have lost out on some free agent wars the past few years. They have remained competitive, but you wonder what could have been if they landed or kept some of those big names.
In the corner, it's Morris. Misses the 3. Rockets trailed by 3. McDaniels passes to Ariza. Here's the screen. The shot no good. Good D by Drummond. Detroit's gone 1 of 3 from way outside since the start of the second quarter. Nice ball movement by Detroit. 6 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Out to Morris. He feeds it to Blake. Johnson dishes to Drummond. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
No question, he got bumped on that shot.
Yeah, the officials didn't need to talk that one over. It was obvious.
He's off on the second. But he gets it back. Second chance shot. And the release was before the buzzer, but it's off target. And we're through the first half of basketball here, and what's been a good one. Pistons lead by 3. And we'll be back right after halftime for the start of the third quarter. We'll see you in a bit. have a close ball game on our hands as we get set for the second half of basketball. One of the stories here, Reggie Jackson getting it done today.
It's been about his ability to just lock down the opponent from a defensive standpoint. A lot of shots also being blocked.
That reach he's shown, Greg, has certainly been fantastic in getting to some of these shots. I mean, he looks like he's got telescopic arms out there.
Welcome back, everybody. The start of the second half getting underway. Both teams battling hard through the first half. One of the stories here, Reggie Jackson getting it done today.
You know, we talk so often about making your teammates better, and his ability to see the floor and then make those passes on time in that first half was the key.
Boy, I tell you what, they say he's not a playmaker, but he certainly has fooled me with the way he's performing right now.
Getting underway in the second half. Here's the 5 for Kevin McHale. We've got Harden. Thornton out there with Lawson. Then there's Howard. And it's a reason in the 4 slot. Harden kicks to Thornton. Back to Harden. And it's a defensive 3-second violation. Just a bit of an up and down year for the Pistons last season. Had some long winning streaks and some long losing streaks for first-year head coach Stan Van Gundy.
Yeah, Kevin, some would say it was addition by subtraction because they really went on that big run after they released Josh Smith. 7 straight wins for them at one point, and they also did have some giant lows.
Here's Howard. Shot's good. Howard's got his second bucket of the night. Detroit leading by 3. Jackson again. It's Lawson. Out to the right wing. Caldwell Pope. It's good. The assist this time from Jackson. Jackson's got 4 assists in the game.
And, you know, those giant lulls were a big part of the Pistons season. I mean, their biggest losing streak was 13 straight losses, and a lot of that you attribute to their defense.
It's Harden with the drive, and a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
And the Pistons also went into a slump after they traded for Reggie Jackson. 1-9 after the trade deadline. That they would end the season on a better note, but truly they were streaky last season.
He's always been extremely reliable at the line, and today's been no different.
Jackson misses.
I'm a fan of anybody who defends that way. I mean, they weren't about to open the door and just allow him to cruise in for a layup.
Here's Harden. He scores his 5th field goal. He's taken 9 shots to get those 5.
He's got some serious momentum going right now. He's been great all day. Even last game, he was on fire. And his stroke has been dead on from the outside. I mean, inside, outside, it just doesn't matter.
Watson the pass to Thornton. High post, Howard. Goes up high for the 2-handed dunk.
Went for the 2-hander on that slam. That's where the weight room comes into play, Kevin.
I think some urgency from him there.
I think he's sensing that this is a critical time in the game, fellas.
And the Pistons making a change here. Baines is checked in. And a switch here also for Houston. Capella's checked in.
Come on, dog.
Morris, no good.
Not sure what the D was doing there. Clearly a breakdown. You can ill afford to give a guy like him that good a look.
Jackson with it. 17 points in the game. And Ilyasova kicks to Jackson. Again, the miss by the Pistons. For the Detroit Pistons, they come in off the loss to Golden State.
Yeah, major problems at the charity stripe in that game. They just could not convert their free throws.
And that makes it hard to win, especially on the road. You get a chorus of about 20,000 yelling at you every time you put one off the rim. Boy, that's got to wear on.
Andre Drummond's checked in for Aaron Baines. And he gets it to go.
And every once in a while, he'll show up and give you some great moves around him.
Boy, last year the Rockets dealt with a lot of injuries. I mean, the front court and post players were hit the hardest. I think almost every Rocket big would end up missing some time.
I mean, that's a tough break for the D. I mean, he took the hit and drew the whistle.
Yeah, but he was late to get there, Greg, so the referee couldn't give him a free pass on that one.
Corey Brewer's checked in for Houston. Lawson kicks to Capella. Harden dishes to Capella. Shot is no good. The Pistons lead it. Jackson with it. Now Lawson defending. Jackson passes to Drummond. And it's Houston on the break. And that's a foul. It's called on Reggie Jackson. And that'll be his third foul so far. Houston making some changes. Harrell comes in for Trevor Ariza. And it's KJ McDaniels in for James Harden. Capella with the bucket.
Some defensive breakdowns are starting to show up now. Their last 4 buckets allowed have come from very close range.
Yeah, high percentage shots are what they are getting in terms of the attempts, and that's just not going to get it done. They've got to figure it out.
And it's Drummond with the jam.
You can see the eye contact there. Gave a little nod and then burst to the rim for the alley-oop slam.
No doubt, Clark. A pair of teammates with a terrific feel for each other out on the floor.
And guys, anytime it's real tight, you're looking for something that could be potentially a momentum builder. And that's exactly what that play looks to be.
Took advantage of some shoddy defense there. They've got to at least get a finger on it. And how sweet a play was that?
As sweet as it gets. An exquisite pass to set up Clark that beautiful alley-oop dunk.
Yeah, that was nice.
No doubt. There are assists, and then, guys, there are assists.
It's Jackson with the drive. Feeds it to Morris. And stolen by Harrell.
Not sure if they're aware of the 2-for-1 opportunity.
Well, they ought to be. I mean, that's basic basketball time management. You've got to be aware of your clock and your situation.
And I like the fact that the defense is looking to protect the rim at all costs.
Definitely saved the layup with that foul, and he'll make him earn them from the line, and that's what you want to see.
Looking at who's out there now for the Rockets. Dwight Howard. He's checked in for Capella. And it's Patrick Beverly in for Ty Lawson. Pass to Drummond. Kicks it out to Johnson. Sinks the triple. Johnson's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball.
And guarding him on the perimeter isn't a priority for them right now, but if this continues, it will be.
They're fortunate that one was just deflected and not stolen. Dodged a bullet there.
24 seconds left to play in the third. And it's Howard finishing it off.
And we always talk about making your teammate better. That assist was right on target.
Here's Blake. Ilyasova is screen on Beverly. Now Blake. He got it up that time, but it wouldn't fall for him. And as we finish the third quarter, it's still close. Both teams trading baskets. The Pistons on. All right, the fourth quarter of action getting underway. We've had a great one so far with both sides coming to play. And so it's Detroit with the ball. They lead by 1. After this one, they're off to Sacramento to take on the Kings. And that one will start off a 3-game road trip for the team. We've got Aaron Baines. Johnson is out there with Andre Drummond. And it's Steve Blake. That's the group for Detroit right now. It's Harden with the drive. It's deflected. He lobs it up. And Drummond throws it down.
And the lead just grows on that ridiculous offensive sequence.
You know, Clark, that dunk alone would have been spectacular. Never mind it coming at the end of an alley-oop.
Yeah, that just added more to it.
And you know, guys, right now, they're starting to flatline, just hanging on here for dear life.
Here's Johnson. Good. And the assist goes to Blake. And now a 7-point Piston lead. And an important part of every team's game, a look at the hustle stats for the Pistons.
The activity level defensively, I've really been impressed with. There's been an attack mode on the defensive end.
Yeah, I think you also have to give them a lot of credit for how well they've risen up to meet shooters to challenge shots in this game. A lot of blocked shots tonight.
That free throw, no good. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is checked in for Detroit. Reggie Jackson comes in for Steve Blake. Houston also making some changes. Capella's checked in, and it's Lawson in for Patrick Beverly.
Nothing fancy there. Didn't need it.
Nope. His only concern right now, Clark, is getting the points on the board, and I don't mean style points.
I like the simplicity.
Well, there's also style just with the fact that he's able to have that kind of a finish, though. Still, I like that pretty one-handed flush.
Solid job by them on the glass here tonight. +8 in rebounds.
You know what? That rebound has always been a critical element of the game, and that's why they are now understanding how to win.
Harden kicks to Thornton. Deflects the pass. Stolen by Jackson. He lobs up the alley-oop pass. Throws down the alley-oop slam.
Those are the kinds of plays that win you games. I mean, really savvy D, and give them credit for looking to go straight up court with it. No hesitation.
And that could be the KO right there.
And let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
Thanks, guys. I was able to hear Kevin McHale coaching his team during that break. He didn't exactly take it easy on them, saying, how much do you want it? Don't tell me. Show me out there. We have to play better. We have to play harder if we're going to come back. Guys?
Thank you.
And it's all one-way traffic tonight, boy. They have been lights out offensively.
And there's no telling how big that lead's going to get. But, again, it's just one game, but...
Quit then, nigga. I made his ass quit. Dog.
I won't bow down to no man.
Welcome, basketball fans, to a very special Veterans Day edition of the NBA on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan along with Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony with Doris Burke reporting on the sidelines. They're pretty rattled right now after a road trip in which they did not win a game. Now they hope to get back on track here at home.
Kevin, this is a really good chance for this team to establish some home court dominance with this long homestand in front of them.
A great chance for them to add a whole lot of W's to their win column. That's the goal anytime you've got a long run of games at home.
And now the New York Knicks starters. We've got Anthony. Robin Lopez out there with Porzingis. Then there's Calderon. And it's Vujicic in at the shooting guard position.
Excellent work there in transition.
Damn.
Yeah, I think it's always better to go early in transition, to attack when it's there, because oftentimes you can beat the defense down the floor.
Oh, yeah! I mean, just beautiful. Now, Clark, that is just ridiculous.
Absolutely filthy. I don't remember ever seeing a dunk like that in the game. I certainly can't remember the last time I saw it.
I tell you what, fellas, you might not see another one like that one for a while. Listen, the Knicks had a hard time scoring last year. Just lacked any real presence in the paint. And lacking that paint threat makes things easier for the opposing defense.
Here's Vujicic. Calderon passes to Vujicic. And the foul called on
that was still.
That is his first foul of the game.
That's his first personal foul.
Here's Porzingis. Shot clock at 6. Rebound by the Suns. They come into this one following a loss to the Thunder.
And the issues they had defensively, in part, I thought, was a huge factor. Really compounded, I think, because it was a road game for them.
Well, they gave the crowd a bunch to cheer about. And when you do that, you put yourself in a really tough position, trying to come away with a road win.
Doubled by Knight. Tries again. Offensive rebound. Now the pass to Porzingis. And Chandler sends it back.
Not really his best quarter as far as scoring. Let's see if he can eventually get back on track.
Right.
With the New York Knicks, they come in off the loss to the Hornets in Charlotte. Here's Vujicic. That falls. Nice speed this time from Jose Calderon.
There's a chance he could have a big game if they don't D him up more tightly on the perimeter. Flying high and throwing down the hard one-hander.
One of his favorite moves right there, guys.
And really, he does that one as well as anyone. Kev, you're right. That's like his signature move once he goes airborne. And that's the kind of lead pass we've come to expect from him. And he just hasn't been able to make anything this quarter.
It's stolen by Morris. There's the lob to the hoop. And the dunk by Chandler.
Boy, the prettiest play in basketball to me. Execute it to perfection.
I don't think we're going to get an argument there.
What the fuck is you doing, dude?
No doubt about it, unless you're the donkey. Because if you're the dunker, it's great. I don't necessarily appreciate somebody slamming one on the top of my head.
Well, you got to get out from under the hoop if you want to stay away, if you want to stay out of the poster.
High post shot. Shot's good by Bledsoe. Bledsoe's got his first bucket in this one.
Wow, got that one off right in the face of the big fella. Nice quick fire release.
Yeah, and the mid-range shot really the only option in that situation. Sometimes when you're facing a bigger guy, you can't get it all the way to the rim.
A platoon swap here for Phoenix. And a new group in for the Knicks. Kevin Serafin, he's checked in for Lopez. Kyle O'Quinn comes in for Porzingis. Langston Galloway's checked in for Sasha Vujicic. And it's Grant in for Jose Calderon.
And on the bench for the Suns is Jeff Hornacek, probably one of the tougher coaches in the league. He'll bend your ear if you make mental error.
Price. Knicks with the rebound.
Sweet ass
That was a good rebound right there, but they haven't been very strong on the glass so far.
Clark, a little disparity there in the rebound numbers, but some of that comes down to how the ball bounces. Let's see if it evens out.
And for Coach Hornacek, Greg, you learned from one of the toughest coaches as a player. Several trips to the finals. And you know this guy well, Clark. Jerry Sloan was the guy that molded Jeff Hornacek.
One of the outstanding coaches in the history of the NBA, Jerry Sloan. Although Hornacek saw all that success in Utah, this is a homecoming job for him because he started his career in Phoenix.
Risky pass in a situation like that. Very lucky that wasn't a steal.
Fortunate to get it through. I thought he was headed the other way with that one.
43 seconds left to play here in the first. And he jams it with authority.
Did not need two hands for that slam.
You know, he can see the other hand for the next time.
One will do just fine.
Yeah, but just to switch it up a little bit. Listen, no doubt the Suns were a competitive team a season ago, especially against that Eastern Conference. Took 18 wins out of the 30 contests they had against the East.
Suns did win the games they were supposed to against the East. As you were talking about, Greg, they had no problem with any team, Clark, as you look back on the Eastern Conference.
Well, you look at the record there against the East, 18-12 against that conference, 9-7 against the playoff teams in the East. Only one of 9 teams in the entire league that could claim that.
And Phoenix has possession. The Knicks making the shot. Here's Len. It's rebounded by Serafin.
Usually, if he gets to the rim, he's converting it into points. But the defense stood tall there.
The Knicks have gone 2 for 2 in the game at the line. Galloway hits both of them. 6 seconds left here in the first quarter. Here's Lure. And he takes the feed in stride and slams it home.
And just a step ahead of the D in that possession there, making the pass. Nice assist.
A free-flowing first quarter. Great scoring through 1. Knicks lead by 4. And back with the start of the second quarter in just a moment. All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. And looking at what we've seen from the Knicks so far, what do you guys think?
They seem to be a step slower, and that's one reason why they've been able to own the rebounding edge.
Well, the anticipation's been better. As the ball hits the rim, it's gone right to them. Solid job of them chasing it down and anticipating.
The Knicks leading by 4. And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go.
What?
Here's the second quarter of play. On the court for the Knicks, Robin Lopez out there with Porzingis. Then there's Calderon.
Let's go, man.
Then it's Derek Williams. And it's Galloway in at the 1. Well, Phoenix shooting a respectable 47% from the field in this one. Took him no time at all on that one. Bledsoe's got 5 points so far.
A wide open 3. They need much better communication defensively.
Dishes it to Galloway. Passes it to Porzingis. It's stolen by Morris. And now in transition is Bledsoe. Here we go. Tucker can't get it to go. New York shooting has just been outstanding tonight. 56% as a team in this game. Porzingis can't hit.
Frozen. Guys just ice cold, unable to contribute offensively.
And the call will be against Langston Galloway. That's his first foul. Sasha Vujacic is checked in for New York.
That's his first personal foul.
Here's Bledsoe. He has 5. It drops for his 3rd basket. He's missed only 1 shot.
Boy, they keep hammering away at him inside, forcing that ball into the paint. Smash mouth basketball.
And Clark, it's a strategy that has served them well during the course of this first half. And guys, this game won't be close to long if they keep giving up dunks like that.
No, it won't, G.A. You're right. A glaring error defensively and letting him get all the way to the basket that time.
Well, it's only 2 points. I mean, it was flashy, no doubt, but still, it only counts for 2. 2 is all.
Well, nobody said, Greg, being in the NBA was for the faint of heart. The Knicks in a few short years have gone from a playoff team, unfortunately, to the worst team in the NBA.
Hard to fathom, Kevin, that the Knicks did enter last season with playoff aspirations, but that quickly vanished. They were just completely overmatched and overwhelmed.
He dishes it to Chandler.
Solid on the one-hand throw down there.
You know, Clark, when it's a tight ball game like this, he's the guy they want with the ball.
Yep.
Yeah, and one reason why, I just don't know that I've ever seen him miss a play like that.
It's deflected. Pass to Porzingis. It's hauled in by the Suns. First chance of the season for them to go up against this Knicks team.
And one of the few bright spots of their last season was sweeping the season series in this matchup.
Yeah, for sure. Neither team a big-time contender in their respective conferences, Greg, but when the teams are fairly evenly matched, it can still be entertaining basketball.
And the Suns making a change here. Jelenovic just checked in.
You know, huge height advantage there, but because of the great body control, he's able to cancel it out.
Agreed. The body control he's sent to in that situation. I mean, if you're giving up a bunch of height, then you better be able to manufacture things in the air.
Kevin Seraphin, he's checked in for New York. Kyle O'Quinn comes in for Porzingis. Here's Anthony. Brandon Knight picking up that last basket. It's Anthony with the drive. Goes up on the wing. That one wide left.
That's not a sight you see very often. I mean, he has a great feel for that jump shot, especially when he's open.
Corner shot. Morris, no good.
And you know what? That's one of those heat checks if he's taking shots like that.
Yeah, heat check or not, I don't care how hot he may or may not be. He's not making that one.
A big group substitution here for Phoenix. Alex Lenz checked in for Markieff Morris. T.J. Warren comes in for P.J. Tucker. Sonny Weems checks in for Brandon Knight. And Ronnie Price has subbed in for Eric Bledsoe.
Ooh, they dirty.
Langston Galloway's checked in for Vujacic. And it's Grant in for Jose Calderon.
He's played an important role in their offense today, guys. Without him, they may not be in the league. Right back to the basics there, using the one-hand slam for that one.
Doesn't he make the basics look pretty exceptional?
Yeah, he does. They look sweet when he does them.
And he better stay with those basics because this game is still yet to be determined.
And it's Weems missing.
Another foul would give him 3 before the half. Something to keep an eye on, guys.
And the Suns making a change here. Lure's checked in.
Substitution for the Suns. John Lure.
Deep 2 from Anthony. And it's Price with the rebound. Suns have gone 1 for 1, making their previous attempt at the line. And they now lead as the free throw drops for him. Phoenix had a season of heartbreak last year. So many losses for them on last-second shots. Late-game losses, Greg, buzzer beaters.
Yeah, it's sad if you're a Phoenix fan. How many times this team lost at the buzzer? Just close games in general. Of their 42 losses, how about 18 were by 5 points or less?
You know, trying to think back on all of the last-second losses for the Suns last year, guys. Heck, the Clippers, Milwaukee, Houston, the Grizzlies, Kings, and Warriors. Ouch.
To the paint. Here's Warren. That's in, coming off an assist from Price. Price has got his 3rd assist on the night. And here's Anthony for 3. Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock. He's now made half of those 10 shots in the game. That's his 5th basket.
Really well done there. Just confident and composed, never in a hurry.
To the paint. His 2nd shot goes in, off to a good start, 2 for 2.
That's leadership. Really, really valuable to have someone who can just take charge like he has.
Well, there's a certain amount of confidence you have when the ball is in his hands at that end of the floor right now. I mean, he just gives you a sense of calm and confidence.
And the first half comes to a conclusion in a game that has been very close so far. New York ahead. They're up by 2. We'll take a quick break, then get you back to the action.
And now, your Suns.
Well, both sides have assessed what they need to do over the break in halftime. We'll see now if one can pull out a way here in the 3rd. Carmelo Anthony really has his fingerprints all over this one.
And he just went off in those first 2 quarters, guys. He's capable of doing that on a consistent basis as well. So we might see some changes from a defensive standpoint as they try to disrupt his rhythm in the second half.
You know, guys, I think you've got to make some sort of change. I mean, they can't let him continue to torch him up like he has been.
And it's been a back-and-forth game so far with no ground given through the first half. Third quarter starting here now. Carmelo Anthony really has his fingerprints all over this one.
You know, and as effective as he was at slashing to the hoop in that first half, even better at finishing once he got there.
Guys, we saw some amazing dunks from him. I can't imagine he'll be able to top those in these last 2 quarters. But I'd love to see him try.
Bledsoe and 9 to the backcourt. Tucker and Morris holding the forward spots. And it's Chandler in the center position. They're the group for Jeff Hornacek starting the second half. And the dunk to finish it off. A beauty. Clark, third quarter here, and 5 lead changes so far.
Yeah, it's really been a bit of a tug of war. Back and forth we go.
And guys, neither team has been able to pull away.
Oh, took the contact and tried to throw it down over the top, but instead he'll shoot free throws. It's going to be on Sasha Vujicic.
And you know what? Save what was likely to be a dunk.
And, you know, under the circumstances, Greg, that's a good foul. You just can't let him have that throwdown.
I mean, the Knicks were bad last year, and it became evident early on. As the season grew older, more and more of their national coverage games were being pulled.
For the Knicks, losing a lot of nationally televised games, too. It seemed like every time they were on, they were losing. It might have been a blessing in disguise.
Well, I hope they look at it in a positive vein. It did give them a chance to focus on player development there in New York. Also allowed them to shut down Melo for the season.
Second half of basketball, just over a minute played so far. And it's Bledsoe off the drive. And fouled as he went up to the dunk. Good aggressive move, and he'll shoot 2. The Phoenix Suns weren't terrible at home by any means last year. They ended up over 500, but Greg, they weren't quite dominant enough at home to get in the play.
That's a great point. I mean, they finished the year +3 in terms of wins at home. Not bad, but not good enough when you're talking about that Western Conference.
If they could end every possession with that shot, they'd be happy. 9 times out of 10, that's an easy layup for him.
And you know what? He's just not on his game, no doubt about it. Their deficit isn't totally on him, but he has not been an asset for his team.
And it's Anthony with the jam.
Yeah, how about the sharp steal and then run out? It looks like they're ready to put the hammer down.
Well, we've been waiting for one of these teams, Greg, to pull away. Maybe that'll be a springboard for him.
Could be. A dunk like that coming off a great defensive play has to build some momentum. You know, when you talk about the Suns, their play at home sums up their season. When you are just above average in the West, you won't be in the playoffs. You've got to be really good at home to make it in the West in the playoffs.
Again, the miss by Knight.
Just not there from a rhythm standpoint right now. It's really eluding him.
Morris with the bucket.
It seems that every pass they make is leading to a score here. I mean, that's just exquisite ball movement.
And that's because the ball is looking for the best shot, and it's really paid off for them during the run.
Rising high to throw that one down.
Sky high. Fantastic one-hand jam.
Nice way there, guys, to finish up that possession. And Phoenix had some turnover issues at home last year, but overall, and to drive this home, they just were okay here in this building, and that's not going to cut it.
Mirza Teletovic is checked in for Phoenix. The Knicks also changing it up. Derek Williams comes in for Porzingis. And Langston Galloway subbed in for Sasha Vujicic.
And they definitely have the edge in those fast break moves.
Greg, they sure have. Maybe it hasn't helped put them in front, but they're clearly better off playing up-tempo basketball.
Some changes for Phoenix. T.J. Warren, he's checked in for P.J. Tucker. Sonny Weems comes in for Knight. And Ronnie Price is subbed in for Eric Bledsoe. And then for New York, Kevin Serafin, he's checked in for Lopez. Kyle O'Quinn comes in for Carmelo Anthony. And it's Grant in for Jose Calderon. Alex Lenz checked in for Tyson Chandler. Price dishes to Teletovic. A reverse. Got a piece of it.
And gotta like what they've been doing down low in the post.
I certainly do. You know, I like to see guys do their work inside. Their rebounding has been excellent, and that's always important in a close game.
Price kicks to left. The rim-rattling two-handed jam. Guys, what a back-and-forth game this has been.
You know what? You're right. Neither side has been able to hang on to the lead for any kind of time at all.
And that's already resulted in 7 lead changes.
Oh, Quinn can't hit. Well, if you name an offensive stat category, the Knicks last season probably last in that category. All-around problems, Greg, for them scoring the ball.
Yeah, we may have to give them a new nickname, last. How about last in fast break points, last in points in the paint, last in points per game, and then throw in bottom 3 in shooting percentage, and that spells abysmal.
And Williams, here we go. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. He's getting his first free throw attempt of the night right now. First free throw is good. Phoenix looked to be on the verge of making it back into the playoffs last season. Ultimately, though, Greg, they faltered in the second half of the year.
Yeah, it was a 3-team race. And after coming up short in 14, the Suns had the edge early. As you said, Kevin, they simply couldn't keep things going in the second half of the season.
Here's what Phoenix has got going on right now. John Moore, he's jumped in for Mirza Teletovic. And it's Eric Bledsoe in for Ronnie Price.
You know, guys, the Suns went from the 8th seed to finishing 10th in the West. I mean, it would have been a tough task for them to stay in the race, particularly after all the trades. I mean, their team was in transition.
Williams passes to Seraphin. Stolen by Warren. 4 on 3 as they bring it up. 5 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Rebound by Williams.
And if they're smart, they can hold it for the last shot.
To me, that's got to be the target. Make sure you manage the clock effectively so you do get the last shot.
And those are the kinds of mistakes that are magnified when we're talking about a game down the stretch.
Kicks it to the land. To the wing on the left. Weems dishes to Warren. Stolen by Seraphin. Got it up. And we've reached the end of the third quarter. Just a terrific game so far. Suns lead by 1. And coming up as soon as we return from break, the fourth quarter gets underway. Welcome back as we get rolling once more. The fourth quarter right ahead in what's been a very well-contested game. Setting the floor for the Knicks. Anthony is out there for Porzingis. Then there's Robin Lopez. Then it's Vujacic. And it's Calderon in at the point. The drive by Anthony. Fires the 3. Porzingis can't hit.
That's a look you cannot pass up. It's also one you shouldn't miss.
Tucker can't get it to go.
And that's the way you want to defend. Nice job, boys.
Always important to have that good interior defense.
Wow, the fans are really getting their money's worth tonight. What an entertaining ball game.
Up to this point, Greg, it's been almost impossible to separate these teams. I think this one's going to be close all the way.
Outside Knight. Out of bounds. New York takes possession.
That is just a careless turnover. You've got to be smarter in those exchanges.
Calderon against Bledsoe. And it's Calderon that time on the assist from Lopez.
Loose D here. Critical stretch. I mean, you're better off sending him to the free throw lines than to have him get that good a look. You know, I think he just wants to tinker with the game plan a little bit. And I think that's a wise timeout.
And part of it, too, Greg, was he saw some things going on out there that he didn't care for.
And let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
I was able to listen in on what Jeff Hornacek had to say to his team. He's looking for whatever they have left in the tank. He said, I know it's been a hard-fought game, but now's not the time to leave anything in reserve. If you're tired, come out. Otherwise, I expect you to be all out full speed. Guys?
Great. Thanks for the report, Doris.
I tell you what, you don't want to allow too many of those kinds of baskets with the game on the line.
This is when the defenders really have to protect the basket. You need to be in sync as a unit defensively. Really the right play defensively. If you can't block, force them to the line.
Yeah, exactly. Prevent the layup, give them a little bump, and then maybe they'll think twice about coming into the lane next time. And if they don't think about it, at least they might be distracted by your presence.
Bledsoe kicks it to Tucker. To the middle. Here's Chandler.
Going for the two-hander on hand slam. That's where the weight room comes into play, Kevin.
I think some urgency from him there.
Yeah, I think he's sensing that this is a critical time in the game, fellas. And this has been purely a display of offense that we're seeing here today.
And, you know, it's only getting better as both of these teams' defenses are starting to show signs of wearing down.
And he's going up for the alley-oop. And Bledsoe, here we go. And Chandler throws it down.
Right back to the basics there, using the one-hand slam for that.
Doesn't he make the basics look pretty exceptional?
Yeah, he does. They look sweet when he does them.
And he better stay with those basics because this game is still yet to be determined.
Porzingis. And that comes off the assist by Calderon. Calderon's got 6 assists in the game. And Bledsoe with the stuff.
And that is a major league flush right there, my friends.
And in a tight contest like this, Greg, that might be just what they need to get the tide rolling in their direction.
You're exactly right. I mean, so often when a team gets that kind of explosive play out of its backcourt, that can really rally and galvanize the whole squad.
Anthony, the pass to Porzingis. Can't get it to go. Suns lead by 3. Tied for 3. And that one's good.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
Dime-dropping delights is what I call it.
Yeah, that was a nice pass. I will give you that one.
Yeah, he was on the money, that's no doubt.
And really just unselfish basketball on the interior. That's the kind of pass a coach loves to see.
Got that one up quick. And the Suns lead by 7.
He hasn't really done much on the offensive end, but he's worked within the team concept to help them get the lead. He's done some other things other than scoring to help his team get the lead here.
Langston Galloway's checked in for Jose Calderon. Bledsoe for 3. The Knicks pull it in. Anthony's got 4 rebounds now tonight. Here's Galloway. Morris with the block. Bledsoe kicks tonight. Shoots. Releases from the wing and drills it. And a moment here to take a look at some of the hustle stats for Phoenix.
You know, block shots, guys, a clear indicator on the stat sheet of their excellent defense. I mean, leaving them no room to get off any shots.
Yeah, but they've been offensive defensively tonight because they've really forced the issue on D and come up with quite a few steals and deflections.
Galloway, no good.
You know, he can be a little hesitant near the rim. We saw it there.
That's not as easy as he made it look, guys. You've got to have some skills to pull that baby off.
Well, he's got plenty of those skills necessary.
And you know what? That man can climb a ladder.
The dive for the ball. Vujacic dishes to Carmelo. Porzingis. That one falls coming off Anthony's feet.
Oh, terrific way to finish that move there, going to the basket. And although he doesn't quite get the block, he does get the missed field goal attempt because of his ability to alter the shot.
Well, almost as effective as a block. I mean, made him completely change his release point, and I think that caused the miss.
And it's Bledsoe off the drive. And he can't bank that one in.
That's one he knows he should have drained.
Sinks it. What a beautiful shot to bring him to within 3.
Just a great job of attacking on the break.
Yeah, you know, exploding to the basket like that, Greg, just as soon as that ball was going the other way, that's exactly how you want to do it.
Just no let up, guys. They just keep coming at you.
Well, this lead is too big to overcome. I'm going out on a limb right now. There's just not enough time left on the clock to make up the ground they have to make up.
Knocked away. Galloway, the pass to Carmelo. Stolen by Tucker. In the corner, it's Morris. Now, here's Tucker. Stolen by Vujacic. So the Suns win it. It was up for grabs right until the final seconds clock.
You know what? They showed their character in crunch time, though, doing what had to be done to send the...